Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I will never forget any of you for what you did for me and this YouTube channel, because as the content creator of this channel, it has become a profound honor for me to resonate and touch the hearts of millions of fans of Descendants of Zombies who watch this YouTube channel every day. I have always wanted to be the best at what I do. And what I mean by being the best at what I do, resonating with each and every one of you and understanding an audience, which I take great pride in doing, because if I could never understand my audience, then what is ever the point of me being a YouTube creator to begin with? I think a quality that you have to possess is the understanding of your audience, and you have to keep giving your audience what they want. And in this case, it's always been something related to Descendants and Zombies that has touched your heart, for the powerful characters, the powerful story that we were all a part of, because what we were a part of was really a chance to be a part of history, because they are carving their place in history. They are carving legacies, and all I've ever wanted to do is share with you my story about how I became a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and my story was heard, and it was very well received for the thousands of people who would go on to subscribe here to this YouTube channel. This didn't happen because one person believed in this YouTube channel in particular. It happened because thousands of people had heard my message and heard my story. They had seen my videos. They knew I felt very passionate about Disney and everything related to it, the Descendants of Zombies franchises, because I wanted to give it a chance. I wanted the stories of people like Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson to be heard years ago, and many years later, after a 5-year hiatus, I wanted the stories of Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker to be put on display because of just how much heart and dedication they had brought forth to these franchises and really brought it to life. Because if they ever did anything in terms of a contribution for the Descendants franchise, they gave it life. And I've always believed in their visions for their characters, Chloe, Charming, and Red, because Princess Red still has a long way to go. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about Princess Red's story, is that she still has a long way to go. She has to discover the power of sisterhood and just how valuable the sisterhood between Red and Pink is going to be in the Descendants franchise and what we're setting up here for, which is really a beautiful story. And I think that if Descendants has ever given us anything to believe in, it should be the sisterhood between Red and Pink, because we still have a long way to go, because this story is far from over. I'm still waiting on unicorns to see their introduction into the Descendants franchise. Either Descendants or Zombies could make room for unicorns, because unicorns are beautiful fantasy characters that I've often had a greater appreciation for. And ever since I saw my sister watch the last unicorn movie, which was over 30 years ago since its initial release, I've always wanted to see unicorns have a greater appreciation within Disney. And I've got actually a stuffy unicorn on the way to as part of this YouTube channel, which you guys will see in the backdrop of this video in the coming days. I just ordered a new stuffed unicorn for my backdrop here. I'm always going out of my way to kind of really bring this YouTube channel to life, and I think that a lot of people have taken away a greater appreciation for my content and the way it's distributed, because nobody has ever been able to distribute Descendants of Zombies content the way that I have, and have the ability to resonate with so many wonderful people because they may have had a favorite Disney princess or a favorite Disney character, many of whom love the Stitch character that you see on display as part of my YouTube backdrop. The reason why I love Stitch so much and Sonic the Hedgehog is because they're so excited to be a part of whatever they're excited to be a part of, and they appreciate life. The value of life that you get from characters like Stitch and even Rapunzel, and the appreciation that you see from these characters, is something that we should never take for granted. Because moments like these that we experience in our lifetime, like how powerful Descendants of Zombies became to be a powerful franchise, are moments that we will never ever forget, and that will forever and always hold a very special place in our heart. I often appreciated Stitch's curiosity and his appreciation of life. I always appreciated Rapunzel, and she ultimately went on to become my favorite Disney princess of this new era, this new modern era. I always was a fan of Sleeping Beauty, Aurora, back in 1958, because I remember how many critical reviews the Sleeping Beauty franchise was receiving early on. From Maleficent and her presentation, the way the script was put together, the music, a lot of it really didn't make sense, but I wanted to give Sleeping Beauty a chance more than I wanted to give anything a chance of that generation, because I always thought Aurora was a beautiful princess name to have, and I always appreciated her character, even though she was just pretty much asleep for over 95% of the movie. The thing was, when she was eventually woken up by True Love's kiss, There was a greater appreciation for that story and what it would go on to mean to each and every one of our hearts. And many Disney princesses would follow suit and become part of a Disney princess lineup, which has always resonated with us. Because I think we think back to these original stories of Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, The Little Mermaid, and we think about how revered and how much reverity these princesses will go on to hold in each and every one of our hearts. I've always wanted to showcase a greater appreciation for Disney princesses and the characters, because Disney's gone on to produce over 100 animated classics over the years, and they've often been celebrated for their reverity. And I've loved telling these stories no matter how many times I have a chance to tell a story related to Descendants of Zombies. I've loved telling these stories very differently every single time that I've told it, because there's always a new and very innovative way to tell whatever story you're telling, no matter if it's about a princess, a hero, a villain. Everybody has a story, and everybody has a story to be appreciated. And I've loved hearing the stories and the background of information for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, their life stories about how Sophia Carson had to endure bullying during her high school experience. I know how that feels, because I didn't really have an easy upbringing in high school. People were very critical of what I wanted to achieve out of life. I always wanted to be a YouTube creator. You know, we would have enterprise education where we would discuss business and career opportunities, and every single time I was ever asked what I wanted to make a career out of, it was always to become a successful YouTuber, to become a YouTube star. I had no idea it would happen for me nearly 25 years later, sitting at home recording a Descendants of Zombies podcast. But that's what's so magical about life, is that life presents you with so many unique opportunities that are very rare and very far and in between. And one of the rare opportunities that I ever had was having the chance to resonate with people who love Descendants of Zombies so much. Every single day there is somebody who subscribes here. There is somebody who sees something special and takes away something special from every video that I've ever uploaded. I share with you stories about my passions for things like Toy Story and Lilo and Stitch and Sonic the Hedgehog, which you see there from the posters and the Sonic the Hedgehog stuffy there. I've always been a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. It had nothing to do with how he was a hyperspeed hedgehog who was just very appreciative of the life. It was just how cool Sonic the Hedgehog was. And I've often wanted to see your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars experience opportunities to entertain you in ways that they've never had the opportunity to entertain you ever before. Like, whoever thought that Quality Control would be in a movie called Zack Power? It is scheduled for release in theaters in 2027, and I think this is a phenomenal opportunity for Quality Control to really reintroduce herself to a whole new generation of Disney fans who are going to carry over their appreciation from franchises like Descendants of Zombies into Zack Power. It's a very different role for Quality Control, but I think she's really going to make the most of these opportunities. I would have loved to have seen Quality Control be the voice of Princess Peach in the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out in April. Now, obviously, they've gone with the original cast of the original Super Mario movie for the reverity it would go on to achieve. But I think with Quality Control's appreciation for Nintendo and the character Princess Peach and how she's drawn so much inspiration from Princess Peach in the past when they were promoting Princess Peach Showtime on Nintendo Switch 2, I think it's really cool how Quality Control resonates with characters like Princess Peach and has opportunities to bring these characters to life through her voice and the opportunity to really do cross-promotions. It's really amazing the opportunities that people like Quality Control and Freya Skye are being presented with all the time. Of course, talking about Freya Skye, we're doing a lot of talking about Freya Skye's new EP. It's called Stardust. It will become available in due time from Hollywood Records, and the promotion for this, the promotional campaign, truly blows my mind and has fallen nothing short of taking my breath away. I have nothing but nice things to say about Freya Skye, and if you are a Freya Skye fan, I think you should smash that subscribe button. Because when you do smash the subscribe button here on this YouTube channel, you know this show is hosted by a guy who loves Freya Skye with all of his heart. Because he knows that there is somebody out there on this really windy day. I know my house is haunted, and I've been living on this island for forever, and there's a lot of haunted stories that are associated with this island about ghost ships and people going missing all the time. So you're probably going to want to think about subscribing here. I live in the most haunted place in the world, believe it or not, and it presents a really cool opportunity to create all these wonderful videos about Descendants of Zombies. I have always loved Quality Control. I've always loved Freya Skye because I believe their stars deserve more of an opportunity to shine brighter than ever before. Because when you take a chance on people like Quality Control and Freya Skye, you can't help but fall head over heels in love with them and take away a greater appreciation for whatever projects they're involved with that they've always wanted to share in with each and every one of you. I've always believed that if they ever had the opportunity, they would share more content with you if ever the opportunity presented itself. But it's because they're always under these restrictions, they're always being monitored, and I think the door needs to be left more widely open for them to engage with you guys, to have more TikTok lives, to go live on YouTube and tell you how they're feeling, and to interact with you through Q&As. Because having just one Q&A every 6 months really doesn't leave the door more widely open for you to get to know these stars. And one thing I would do as an executive at Disney is I would sit down with every single one of them individually behind a closed door, and I would let them know, how do you want to be perceived? How do you want your image to be put out there? How do you want the people to accept you into their lives? I would let them tell their own stories, because the thing is, I've always appreciated hearing somebody's story from their perspective. And I'm not talking about sitting down and recording an interview for the purpose of just recording an interview. Because I've always believed that when you record an interview with somebody, it should be about a conversation. It should be like a conversation between two people who have known each other for their entire lives. I've loved having conversations with people on the radio. I've loved producing interviews for many, many years. And I'd love to get to know the person behind the microphone and behind the superstar, because it gives me a greater appreciation for them every single time. I ask very different questions in my interviews. I present very different commentaries because I have a very different take and opinion to share with everybody on Descendants and Zombies. And I get to share that with thousands of people who saw something special on my YouTube channel. Forgive me, but I see problems with people like Clarke and Freya, Skye crying all the time when they don't have to be. Because they have to be focusing on what matters. And what matters is each and every one of you. Because somebody takes Clarke political point of view out of concept, or they feel a certain way about how Clarke relationship or her life may be going. That really doesn't tell me a whole lot about Clarke, whether or not she's a Donald Trump supporter, because I've never cared if she is a Donald Trump supporter. All I've ever cared about is Clarke for the person that she is. All I've ever cared about is her having the opportunity to entertain you more and in more innovative ways than ever before. As long as Clarke puts smiles on each and every one of your faces, that's all I've ever cared about. And if I was ever going to say anything about Clarke, it was going to be to let Clarke know that she's never done anything wrong, because she's far from perfect. But even though she's far from perfect, that is no reflection on who Clarke is, because she is a beautiful person through and through, and each and every one of you have seen that in Clarke, and you have forever been supportive of Clarke because you believed in Clarke with all of your heart. And for that, I would just like to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for always and forever being there for Clarke every step of the way, believing in Clarke with all of your heart. And that is precisely why her singles Boot Up and Goodie Bag and Denim and See You Tonight have received profound success on the Billboard chart. They may have never gone to number one, but they have received profound success on the Billboard chart because of you guys believing in it. It kind of reminds me of how Sophia Carson's single from Descendants 2, Chillin' Like a Villain, almost went to number one within the first few weeks of its premiere on the Hot 100 Billboard chart because of how much you believed in that single, how much you saw something special and took something special away every single time that you saw the Chillin' Like a Villain's music video. I have loved being a part of these moments. I have loved having the opportunity to hear the stories of your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, and I can never have enough opportunities to really take it for what it's worth. It is a beautiful opportunity for us to get to know your favorite stars. I really don't appreciate these interviews. They do, because the thing is, they're asked the same 10 repetitive questions all the time in every single interview. It's almost as if these interviews are predetermined, they're pre-choreographed, and it really never gives us a greater appreciation for these stars, because I think their lives are pretty much open books. And I think that's always and forever how you should perceive your life, is like an open book, never knowing what's going to happen day in and day out, because that's what makes life so exciting and gives you a greater appreciation for life every single time that you have the chance to experience these moments. Descendants of Zombies was really a moment in history, because I think we were waiting on a franchise to leave us captivated, to leave us breathless, to leave us wanting more and keep us coming back for more. Because every single time that we closed the book on a new chapter of Descendants of Zombies, there was always a new opportunity to have a new chapter with new characters, new storylines, and with the extensive library of characters that we have seen in the Descendants franchise and so many more that are yet to come, we have even more to be excited about in that foreseeable future, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it. I never ever thought this YouTube channel would go on to resonate with so many wonderful people, and I would have the honor of touching so many wonderful hearts out there, because I've touched the hearts of not hundreds of people, thousands of people through this YouTube channel. I've always loved being a YouTube creator, but I never imagined that I would have fallen into a niche that would have been incredibly supportive of what I believed in, and a message of kindness that I wanted to share and spread with each and every one of you. And through your guys' kindness, you guys gave me the opportunity to spread that message of kindness, because we can never have enough opportunities to show somebody kindness in our lives who really need it. Because every day there is somebody out there just looking for a little bit of extra kindness to be shown to them because of what they may be going through, a situation they can never seem to make sense of. Because I've always believed that everybody has a light. And I know that sounds very reminiscent of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but when you really think about it, Cloud was making a whole lot of sense in the Kingdom Hearts video game series when he said everybody has a light, and everybody eventually does find that light. I remember when he looked at Sora and he said that to Donald and Goofy and Sora on their journey to discover King Mickey. And I never ever forgot it, and it's a quote that often resonates with me, and I've loved sharing with each and every one of you on this show, because I always believed in encouraging people to follow their passions. Many of you are passionate about music and probably playing the piano or learning how to play the guitar. Many of you are passionate about collecting Descendants of Zombies dolls. You probably have shelves in your room full of the Descendants of Zombies doll collection. And I can find time in appreciating that. And that's why I've been able to create all this wonderful, relatable content to everybody who may have been a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Perhaps you're a fan of, say, I don't know, Sophia Carson, because of her fashion sense, and you think she's undeniably gorgeous and she's overflowing with talent. There is no denial ever coming from my voice about how I felt about Sophia Carson, because I've been very vocal about how I felt about Sophia Carson. I think she is a beautiful, exceptionally talented actress who deserves more of a chance. So too does Dove Cameron. Because when you take a chance on them, only magical things will happen for you. You will feel more inspired than ever before. And I know that the new cast of Descendants received its fair share of criticism early on, but once you gave Descendants of Zombies a chance, only special things happened. Really, magic was created. Magic happened because of Descendants of Zombies. And it gave people out there more of a reason than ever before to believe in magic, even if it was just once in your lifetime. There was only once in your lifetime that you ever believed in magic. Magic can really happen for anybody. I think Descendants of Zombies gave us an opportunity to really feel a part of something special for at least once in our lifetime, and it's been an experience that we will never ever forget. I will never ever forget all the PR extensively for Descendants of Zombies years ago, and how much it would resonate with so many wonderful people, and how it would go on to touch the hearts of so many wonderful people because they saw something special in characters played by Red and Chloe and Mal and Evie from Descendants, of course Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Kylie Cantrell, who I can never seem to say enough nice things about. There will always be something new and innovative posted here on this YouTube channel, forever and always dedicating the content to each and every one of you, because it was content created for you, and it was content created because of you. Because you guys saw something special in Descendants of Zombies. You gave Descendants of Zombies more of a chance than any critic or any journalist ever saw in Descendants of Zombies. Because I remember reading some of the very first reviews that were ever compiled and collaborated for Descendants of Zombies, and there really wasn't much of a chance given to this one early on. But as the franchise saw expansions and more opportunities were presented to it, more people continuously fell in love with it. They fell under a magic spell because of a cauldron that was developed because of Descendants of Zombies fans and how passionate they felt about Descendants of Zombies. It's a spell that I've never wanted to see broken, and it's a story that I've never wanted to see its dramatic conclusion, because I've always appreciated how these stories can keep on going for forever and forever and forever. Like many of you went to see Wicked for Good, and it was a dramatic conclusion to a story that forever and always held a very special place in our heart because of the friendships that we saw and the storylines that were presented. And many of you have forever and always been holding on to the belief that there could be Wicked Part 3. And even if Wicked Part 3 doesn't happen, there are people out there that will forever and always remain dedicated to Wicked. It has everything to do with how all I've ever wanted you guys to do is continue to follow your passions. And many of you showcase your passions through drawing your favorite Descendants characters, loving the songs, loving the story, and wanting to know what's going to happen next. For over 2.5 years, The Rise of Red has held a very special place in our heart, and we've been holding on to forever happening for Descendants of Zombies, and now it finally will come to pass with Descendants Spy Book of Wonderland happening in summer 2026. And this is an opportunity that I'm more excited and I've never felt more honored to be a part of with each and every one of you. If you have ever wanted to be given a chance to believe in something at least once in your lifetime, I think Descendants of Zombies presents us with an emphatic opportunity to get to know these characters and these stars more than ever before. They are emotionally connected to their roles. They are emotionally connected to these characters because they felt a part of these stories and these characters that are defined through the legacies they've carved for over at least 100 years. Disney has held a very special place in each and every one of our hearts, and so too has Descendants of Zombies. So because it's held a very special place in each and every one of our hearts, I have always and forever believed in cherishing these moments and sharing my story with each and every one of you, and likewise having the opportunity to hear your story from your perspective. Because when you hear the story from Descendants of Zombies fans, from their perspective, it's a whole new experience, and it's a whole new honor being presented to me. Just know that you guys will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I can't believe this happened for this YouTube channel, but it did, and it's become everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel for the obvious reasons. How this story was told, if it was told over 1,000 times, each time it was told differently, and I couldn't be more honored to be a part of these stories with each and every one of you, telling you my story and having the opportunity to hear yours. If you are somebody who loves Descendants of Zombies with all of your heart, perhaps you're a fan of Clarke, maybe you're a fan of Freya, Skye, whoever you're a fan of for whatever reason, you found my YouTube channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and come along with me on this incredible journey, which never has to be over, because these conversations are a long way away from ever having to be over. And I think Descendants of Zombies really gives us an opportunity to really enjoy these experiences more than ever before and have something to look forward to in that foreseeable future. Because even with how big 2025 was, 2026 is setting itself up to be an incredible year for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, looking ahead to summer 2026 and the premiere of Descendants by Book Wonderland, which is something I feel incredibly honored to be a part of. Thank you so much for allowing me to grace myself with your presence, and thank you so much for allowing me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies, your voice of reason, if anything, giving you more of a reason to believe in Descendants of Zombies more than ever before, because this YouTube channel always and forever gives back to the Descendants of Zombies fandom. This was content that was created for you. This was a channel that was created because of you, and I forever and always wanted to be a part of something special, and Descendants of Zombies gave me that opportunity. Thank you so much for believing in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. And most of all, thank you so much for having watched this video. It's been my honor.